Coverage you can count on. This is WAAY 31 News at 10.
Thanks so much for staying up with us for WAAY 31 News at 10. I'm meteorologist Grace Anello. I've got your Mother's Day forecast for you, and I'll tell you when you might see rain on Mother's Day coming up in just a minute.
An EMT in Cleveland, Ohio has been found alive after being missing for nearly a week. New details tonight on that case. And with a possible U.S. debt default just weeks away, Republicans, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, are pushing for President Biden to cut trillions of dollars in federal spending before agreeing to increase the debt. And thank you so much for joining us for WAAY 31 News at 10. We're on a little late, but appreciate you being here. I'm Brittany Harry. We're keeping an eye on weather conditions for your Mother's Day weekend. So let's start with Storm Tracker meteorologist Grace Anello. Grace, will we be able to spend any time outside tomorrow with Mom?
Oh, yeah, you'll definitely be able to spend time outside tomorrow with Mom. Now, that we will have some isolated showers in the forecast later in the afternoon, but they are just isolated, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Take a look at Decatur right now. Still warm, 71 degrees, and mostly clear skies. We'll see a little bit more cloud cover move in overnight tonight. 31 triple Doppler is completely dry and clear from rain, which is nothing what this looks like. But if you watch Anello Answers It this week, these are radar blooms or ground clutter, meaning they're feedback from a secondary radar system because of that beam bending towards the ground. So we are in fact completely dry at 10:32 on your Saturday evening. 74 degrees currently in Huntsville, 70 in Athens, and 68 in Coleman. So still hanging out on the warm side of things and definitely still hanging out on the muggy and humid side of things. Now, as we head into Sunday, we are in a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather, but I'll let you know the higher severe weather risk is far to our north, so it is unlikely that we will actually see severe weather on your Mother's Day. We're going to have a high temperature well above average for this time of year, and I am tracking some very isolated pockets of showers in the forecast for your Mother's Day Sunday. I'll tell you all about that and show you a look at future radar coming up in just a couple of minutes.
New at 10, the Madison Police Department is asking for the public's help in finding a missing man. Take a look at your screen here. Police say 85-year-old Patrick Zank was last seen walking south on Wall-Triana Highway, just north of Highway 72 in Madison. Zank suffers from dementia. He was last seen wearing a turquoise T-shirt with khaki shorts. These are the places police say Zank is known to frequent in Madison: the Planet Fitness Shopping Center, Target Shopping Center, and Cliff Farms Shopping Center. If you see Zank, call 911 or Madison Police right away. Huntsville Fire and Rescue is working to determine what sparked a fire at an apartment building this morning. Huntsville Fire and Rescue says it happened in the 4100 block of Newson Road. That was around 6 o'clock this morning. Right now, we know 7 adults and a child are without a home. The property manager says the building is a total loss.
And so the electric meters were taken, and the city has condemned the units, and so we are currently rehousing the tenants that we have under our care.
And we are working to learn if there were any injuries as a result of that fire. And of course, we'll keep you posted. A registered sex offender is now out on bond after a school resource officer says he was caught at a school. Court documents show Jimmy Holt was at Rogers Elementary School for an awards ceremony on Tuesday. The SRO, who previously helped register sex offenders, says he recognized Holt. Holt told investigators he knew he wasn't supposed to be at the school, but wasn't thinking after his family begged him to attend his granddaughter's awards ceremony. He was previously convicted of sex abuse in 1986, and he is expected to face a judge in July. We have a traffic alert. 41 driving in Scottsboro next week. At Scottsboro, water and sewer and gas will be closing Crawford Road beginning on Monday. Specifically, the section of road between Highway 35 and Bedford Street. The closures will be between 8:30 in the morning to 2 every day until May 26. The closures won't impact school traffic at all. And road closures will continue along Highway 431 in Guntersville next week. Patching on northbound lanes will resume from 8 to 4 every day. That will happen between Guntersville High School and Walmart. And new at 10, a Cleveland EMT who went missing has been found alive. Here's a look at some surveillance video here taken at a convenience store where you can see the woman in this video. She showed up barefoot with torn clothes. You can see she goes into the store in just a moment here where she was able to use a phone to call 911. Now here's a closer look at that video. Lachelle Jordan was missing for almost a week. ABC's Alison Kosik has the details on this case.
A miracle did happen. Yes, sir.
Lachelle Jordan's father thanking law enforcement, the media, EMS, and everyone who helped bring his daughter home.
I had one small request, and that was to bring my daughter home safely. That request was granted.
Jordan, a Cleveland EMT, had been missing for nearly a week. Her family telling police she stepped outside to grab something from her car last Saturday evening and never returned. On Friday, the 30-year-old seen on this surveillance video limping into a convenience store, barefoot, her clothes tattered, using the clerk's phone to call 911.
You'll never believe this. We just got a call from Lachelle Jordan. She said she got away from the people that kidnapped her. They tried to burn her alive.
She was taken to the hospital for treatment.
Lachelle has had some trauma. She's had some injuries, and she's been hospitalized. And she's getting medical treatment.
The alleged kidnapping took place just days before Jordan was set to testify in a rape and kidnapping case involving 65-year-old Michael Stennett, who was reportedly a former co-worker. Stennett had been indicted on 2 counts of rape and 1 count of abduction. He has pleaded not guilty. Out on bond pending trial, Stennett was arrested Monday for violating a protective order filed by Jordan. However, police have not implicated Stennett in her disappearance and have not released any other information in her disappearance and recovery. Alison Kosik, ABC News, New York.
New information tonight on the ongoing debt ceiling negotiations as the U.S. is just weeks away from hitting the looming deadline before default could possibly happen. New warnings are out as the deadlock continues, with calls demanding a deal before an economic crisis happens. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the details on the negotiations.
With a possible U.S. debt default just weeks away, Republicans, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, are pushing for President Biden to cut trillions of dollars in federal spending before agreeing to increase the debt limit.
This is not a normal place for us to be, to have House Republicans hold our economy hostage.
But the president has called for a debt limit hike without any preconditions. A White House meeting between the president and congressional leaders on Tuesday ended without a deal, and a meeting scheduled for Friday was postponed.
I have not seen from there a seriousness of the White House that they want to deal.
On Saturday, the president tweeting default is not an option, saying he thinks the talks are moving along.
There's real discussion about some changes, but we're not there yet.
Increasing the debt limit would allow the U.S. to continue paying its bills, and lawmakers are running out of time. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office is warning of a significant risk the government won't have enough money to pay its bills in the first 2 weeks of June. If that happens, as many as 66 million Americans may see their Social Security payments delayed. Federal workers and troops could go unpaid. Millions of jobs could be slashed, and borrowing costs could spike. Staffers are meeting through this weekend to try to make progress on a deal. 2 potential areas of agreement on the budget talks include reforming permits for energy projects and clawing back unspent COVID relief funds. The president is expected to meet with the 4 leaders of Congress again early next week. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
And a possible default could cause problems for the housing market. Zillow reports house sales would see a collapse that could be up to 23%. You'd also see the fixed rate 30-year mortgage jump up to a staggering 8%. And along with the damage to real estate, you'd also see your borrowing costs jump as well. A possible default could also come with other ramifications, such as high unemployment. A Moody's report shows just 1 week of default could cost 1 million jobs. The losses could be catastrophic, and we would see a jump in the unemployment rate to 5%. After 6 weeks of default, unemployment would rise to 8% with a loss of 7 million jobs. Well, the Orion is 1 year old. Next at 10, we'll take you to Camp at the Amp, or Camp 2 Amp, I should say. It was a festival that was held today in Huntsville's Mid-City to celebrate.
Plus, I'm tracking some rain in the forecast, including a little bit on your Mother's Day Sunday. I'll tell you what you can expect and plan out the week ahead for you coming up.
Coverage you can count on. This is WAAY 31 News at 10 with Brittany Harry, meteorologist Grace Anello, and sports with Max Cohan.
New at 10, the Orion Amphitheater celebrated being open 1 year with the Camp to Amp Festival in Huntsville's Mid-City District. WAAY 31's Xavier Wherry shows us the celebrations right here in the Rocket City.
You can catch you some great and awesome live music.
We're making a mark, and I think that's really cool.
Today marks the second annual Camp to Amp Festival here at Mid-City, a fan favorite for locals like China Gross.
I think it's awesome that it's bringing so many people in. I think it's great for the diversity, bringing a lot of new faces to Huntsville. It gives everybody something to do. Kids aren't out in the streets. They're here having fun, safe.
And D. Allen Rice.
I definitely love this.
Rice has lived in Huntsville his entire life and says events like this showcases how much Huntsville has grown.
To see it change so fast, woo, for me, it's like I'm traveling to the future.
Today also marks the 1 year anniversary of the crowd-pleasing venue, the Orion Amphitheater.
Every situation that I've been there, it's just been fun, it's been light, it's been all cultures, and I just feel at home.
For Gross, who bartends here at Mid-City, shows that the Orion boosts her pockets.
It's bringing people, every time there's a show, I know that I'm getting more customers that night, so that's awesome.
And if local love isn't enough, Katie Miller, the general manager of the Orion, says admiration of the venue has been shown throughout the country.
We've actually had other cities reach out to us and come down and tour to see basically the impact that we've had on Huntsville, because they've heard such a, the job we've done and seen the impact we have had on the city. So they basically want to emulate us, which I think is such a testament to, the success we've had.
Xavier Wherry, WAAY 31 News.
Well, Huntsville police will be honoring the sacrifice of Officer Garrett Crumby on Monday. A brick dedication ceremony will take place at the Huntsville Fallen Officer Memorial at 1 in the afternoon. Officer Crumby died in the line of duty following a shooting at Governor's House Apartments in March. The second officer who was injured in the same shooting, Albert Morin, is out of the hospital and recovering at home. And the annual Morgan County Law Enforcement Memorial Ceremony is happening on Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning. If you'd like to go out, it will take place at the north entrance of the Morgan County Courthouse, and anyone is welcome to attend.
Now, WAAY 31 Storm Tracker meteorologist Grace Anello with 31 Triple Doppler.
Well, Grace, it's going to be a pretty good day to get out tomorrow.
It is.
With Mom.
It is. Yes, not without its rain chance.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, we're talking about a pretty good day here. It will
be
quite warm, though.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, very, very, even probably too warm for us, and that's saying something. All right, take a look right now at the WAAY 31 Sky Camera Network, powered by Thompson Roofing and Construction. Conditions are clear as you head to bed. All is calm and all is peaceful to close out your Saturday evening. Temperatures are hanging out in the mid and low 70s for us. Still quite warm for this time of year and this time of day. Now, 31 Triple Doppler is completely dry at 1046 on your Saturday, but we're seeing some blue on here. What is that? Well, those are called radar blooms, and they're from ground clutter. It means when our radar beam went out, instead of going out and coming right back, it's now bending because of the temperature of the earth and things like that. We did Anello Answers on that just a few days ago, and if you're interested, that's where you can find more about it. All right, take a look at our temperatures. 74 degrees in Huntsville, 68 in Coleman, and 72 degrees presently in Muscle Shoals, so definitely leave the jacket inside if you're taking the dog out one last time before bed. But note that it's still muggy and humid out there. All right, now I want to let you know all that muggy and humid is going to translate into just a little bit of rain tomorrow. As a result, we are in a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Now that is low, and the severe threat is low. The higher severe threat is farther to our north. We won't see very much rain tomorrow, but what we do see, we'll have to be watching carefully. However, you don't need to be concerned on your Mother's Day. When you first wake up at 7 a.m. on Sunday, temperatures will be at an even 70 degrees and very humid. Early morning is the most muggy part of the day. At 10 a.m. we'll have a little bit more sunshine and temperatures in the low 80s. Your high temperature for the day out there, you ready? 89 degrees, and several of us will make it to the 90 mark, and that is well above average for this time of year. Most of us will stay partly cloudy throughout the day, but 1 or 2 of us will see some rain. It all starts around 12, 12:30, and 1 in our western counties, just west of the corridor tracking from southern Tennessee into North Alabama. This continues to track south and east and bring a little bit more rain with it in a more scattered nature. At that point, we could see rain anywhere in the Tennessee Valley. But the good news is this gets out of our system by about 4 o'clock. So we're not talking about very many hours of rain, but you might have to dodge 1 or 2 showers. I wouldn't go canceling your outdoor plans, but just keep an eye on the radar on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker weather app so that you know what you can expect. By 7 p.m. dinner time on your Sunday, temperatures are in the low 80s and conditions are dry, at least for the rest of that day. We'll keep rain chances Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, but the good news is once we get done with these 5 days, the next 5 days after that are going to be dry and a little bit cooler as well, more seasonable for this time. Let's walk through the rain chances we do have. On Monday, we'll see rain not until the afternoon. When you get to work at 7 a.m., conditions will be completely dry for you. That cloud cover moves in around lunchtime, and then we'll see some scattered showers later just after lunch. This stays with us through dinner time and even some of us into bedtime, but then it won't be quite as strong. Now, when we have rain on Tuesday, it's more rain, but it's not as strong of storms. It's just rain at that point, heaviest in the late afternoon and through dinner time on Tuesday. So plenty of rain coming in the next several days. The biggest day that's going to be a washout, that's going to be Tuesday. Now, the temperatures are quite warm for us, but this weekend will dry out, and we have some cooler temperatures that stay with us to start next work week as well. So all in all, really not a bad 10-day forecast, and the trash pans are back, so it's a plus.
All right. Yeah, that's a win-win.
It is.
Well, still ahead, we are taking a moment to say thank you to Mom ahead of Mother's Day. Well, tomorrow is Mother's Day, and many of you are spending big on Mom this year. New data from the National Retail Association shows tomorrow's holiday is set to see record spending. Around $35.7 billion is expected to be spent on Mom based on an annual survey. That's almost $4 billion more than last year's high. Most of those gifts, this is no surprise, are flowers and cards. And here at WAAY 31, we want to say a very special thank you to some of the moms that we have here. We have several moms who you see on your screen every day. Here's evening anchor Marie Waxel with her son Jack. Hopefully the video comes up in just a second. There it is. Jack turns 2 years old next month. And morning anchor Demetria Green also has little ones. This is Madeline, who is 3, and Porter, who is 10 months old. All of these precious kiddos, and Nicole Williams is a mom of 3. This is Assad Asim and Asa. Again, a big thank you to every mom out there. Each and every day you work hard to make sure that your kids are happy and are safe. And of course, we have to give a special shout out to our moms.
We sure do. Absolutely. Some of the best of the best. We love them.
Yes, yes. What would we do without moms, right?
I would be on the streets. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here.
Hard to tell. Yeah,
Need
exactly.
the moms to be here, right?
Exactly. Yes, yes. All right.
All right. Well, everywhere you look, there were wild goals to be seen at John Hunt Park. We'll show you the biggest ones that had the biggest impact coming up next in sports.
Now, WAAY 31 Sports with Max Cohan.
20 teams, 10 games, and 1 goal to be champion. It was a busy day at John Hunt Park with a handful of maps up for grabs and everyone trying to make sure they're bringing home the blue one. Let's take you through the day's quest for state titles. With the 6A boys title up for grabs, Fort Payne's Christian Barrientos turned in a performance for the ages. Battling Montgomery Academy, the Wildcats constantly had to play from behind, but the junior was there every time his team needed him, netting clutch goal after clutch goal to help Fort Payne reclaim the blue map, with this rocket of a penalty kick giving the Wildcats their first state title since 2015 with the 4-3 win.
Every kid dreams about it, you know, being in the state final, especially performing the best like in the whole season, scoring 4 goals in a game, especially in the state final. It's an unbelievable feeling. You know, every kid dreams about it, and I accomplished it. I'm out of words.
And looking for their first soccer title, Sparkman got everything they needed from Jada Davis, who showed off the boot with a brace, netting both of the Senators' goals as they took down the Tigers. Davis never gave the goalie a chance and made it look like no big deal both times. But in a low-scoring game, those 2 net rattlers made the difference on the biggest stage in the Senators' 2-1 win.
I can tell you that this is the most special group of soccer players that I've ever been around. This is the greatest team in Madison County history, and I can tell you that great players make you look like a smart coach.
But we're not done with first-time Blue Mappers. Westminster Christian picked up theirs, defeating St. Michael in penalties as Ella Henshaw ends the marathon of a game with 1 kick. The Wildcats led for the majority of the game, but the Cardinals sent this one to overtime, and after a couple scoreless periods, Westminster outscored them 4-2 in penalties to make a big addition to the trophy case. And we can't forget our final winner of the day. The Tanner Rattlers took home their first ever title, defeating St. Luke's 2-0. And speaking of championships, over on the softball diamond, North Alabama fell to Central Arkansas 3-1 earlier today, forcing a winner-take-all ASUN championship game. And the Sugar Bears jumped out to an early 2-0 lead in the first and rode it out the rest of the way. Kayla Beaver held the Lions to just 2 hits in the shutout as Central Arkansas takes the ASUN crown, ending UNA's season with the 6-zip loss. The Lions finished the year 34-16-1. And checking in on SEC action, it was a good day for both the Tide and Tigers. We'll start with Auburn. The 23rd-ranked Tigers taking on Ole Miss in Oxford, and after taking the first 2 games of the series with statement wins on Friday, the Tigers were back at it today. Cole Foster showing off another feat of strength as he puts Auburn up 3 in the third, but then the bats would go quiet until the 5th when Cooper McCurry clears the bases with a grand slam to give the Tigers a 7-zip lead. All in, the Tigers would claw across 6 in the frame as they went on to win their 5th straight, 13-5. The Tide also had the long ball working today, squaring off with Texas A&M. Alabama smoked 3 big flies, including this 3-run shot off the bat of Andrew Pickney to get the party started in the first, but the Tide did the most of their damage in the 5th. Already up 7, Pink goes yard again, and he must have had the launch code for that missile. 455 feet to center, and his second 3-run blast of the game gives Bama a 10-run lead. They'd run rule the Aggies in this one, taking it 12-1 in 7 innings. Now let's check out our favorite minor league baseball team, the Trash Pandas, on the road taking on the Shuckers tonight. And in this game, every run that was scored came in the 3rd inning. Rocket City pushed 2 across with back-to-back doubles from Jeremiah Jackson and Levon Soto, while Biloxi's lone run came on a solo shot from Xavier Warren. Brett Carey picked up the win, allowing 3 hits in 5 innings of work as the Trash Pandas take it 2-1, ending their 4-game losing streak. So they finally get back in the win column. That'll be good for them, especially if you want to go see them this week.
Yeah, I'm going to say good for them.
The other thing that's good for them is the forecast. Come on, somebody.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at your Mother's Day forecast. Looking beautiful. It will be quite warm, though, 89 degrees for your high temperature. Some isolated rain from about 2 to 4 o'clock in the evening. It will be quite muggy. Your 10-day forecast, well, Tuesday is going to be the soggiest day there, as will Thursday evening. But take a look at this weekend into next week. We've got a little bit more mild temperatures and more sun for the Trash Pandas.
All righty. Well, WAAY 31 gives you 24/7 coverage. You can count on local news, breaking news, and severe weather. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight and staying up late with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 5. Have a great night.